In the endless dark of space, one ship drifted quietly, small, old, and weak. The galaxy called it Eden-class frigate, a name most aliens used as a joke. Compared to the massive dreadnoughts of the empires, the Eden looked like a toy lost among giants. The Galactic Council once watched humans build it and laughed. "They still use metal hulls?" The Vorthon commander sneered. "That ship wouldn't survive a single plasma shot." The laughter spread across the stars, and humanity said nothing. The Eden was ignored, forgotten, a ghost on the scanners. But inside that fragile ship, 12 humans worked in silence. Their eyes showed something the galaxy couldn't see: patience. For years they had been testing a secret project, something born from failure, pain, and countless wars. They called it Project Lazarus, a system that could turn weakness into strength. One day, during a military exercise in neutral space, hundreds of alien warships passed near the Eden. None fired. None even noticed. To them, it was just another human mistake drifting in the dark. Then the stars around the Eden began to twist. The space near it shimmered like water. Every alien ship's sensors went blind for exactly 10 seconds. When the light returned, the Eden was gone. In its place, a strange blue glow pulsed across the void, spreading like a heartbeat through hyperspace. Commanders shouted, ships scrambled, and panic spread. No one knew what had happened. But one human voice whispered through the static, "You never respected us. Now you will remember us." And that was the moment the galaxy realized something terrible had awakened. Hours passed after the strange event, yet every ship in that sector was still blind. Communication lines were silent. Scanners flickered with static. The Vorthon fleet commanders grew restless. They had never seen anything like it. Then, from the edge of the system, a faint blue signal appeared. It pulsed slowly, almost like a heartbeat. The aliens traced it back to one impossible location: the Eden-class frigate. "How is that possible?" one officer shouted. "It vanished." But there it was, drifting calmly, undamaged and now glowing with a faint blue aura. When the Vorthon sent a drone to inspect it, the drone vanished before it reached the hull, as if space itself had swallowed it whole. Inside the Eden, the human crew worked quietly. The captain, a calm man named Arlen Voss, stared at a holographic display showing the ship's systems. Lazarus protocol had awakened, and the ship was no longer the same. Its reactor was bending energy in ways no human science could explain. The weak ship now carried the power of a dying star, contained in silence. "Captain," the engineer whispered, "the energy's stabilizing." "But it's growing," Arlen nodded. "Let it grow. They wanted to see power. We'll show them." Outside, the Vorthon fleet opened fire. Hundreds of plasma bolts tore through the void, but none reached the Eden. Each blast dissolved into harmless sparks before touching the hull. Then came the first tremor, a low, rumbling wave that passed through every ship in the system. Engines died. Shields failed. For the first time in centuries, the galaxy's strongest fleet felt fear. The weak human ship had moved, and the universe itself had listened. The Vorthon flagship hung in space, powerless and silent. Crew members screamed as lights flickered and consoles burned out. None of their systems worked. Not engines, not shields, not even life support. Yet the small human ship floated calmly before them, glowing brighter with every passing second. Inside the Eden, Captain Arlen Voss stood motionless, eyes fixed on the trembling holographic core of Project Lazarus. The once weak frigate now pulsed with raw energy. It wasn't just repairing itself, it was evolving. "Captain," the navigator said softly, "it's rewriting the ship's design. Our systems are changing on their own." Arlen's voice was calm. "Let it. Lazarus was built to adapt, to learn from our enemies. It's doing exactly what we hoped." Outside, the hull of the Eden began to shift. Its dull metal skin cracked open like a cocoon, revealing layers of radiant alloy glowing with a strange, living light. What had been a fragile warship now looked alive, part machine, part energy, and something far beyond both. The Vorthon fleet tried to retreat, but their warp drives refused to start. The space around them rippled again, bending gravity like a storm. One by one, their ships began to drift helplessly toward the Eden, drawn by an invisible force. The human crew could feel the pressure, hear the hum of power shaking the air itself. "Sir," whispered the engineer, "if this continues, the system might collapse." Arlen smiled faintly. "No, it's awakening. For the first time, Lazarus is seeing the galaxy as it truly is." Then, the Eden's lights went out completely, followed by a single, blinding flash that swallowed the stars, and in that flash, humanity's weak ship was reborn. When the light faded, the Eden was gone. Not destroyed and simply gone. The Vorthan fleet's scanners couldn't find a trace. Every commander shouted orders, but their ships wouldn't respond. Entire systems flickered between power and darkness. Then one by one, messages began arriving across the galaxy. Reports from distant sectors, whispers in military channels, everywhere. The same story spread and a small human ship appeared, and powerful fleets vanished. The Galactic Council dismissed it as rumor. "Humans can't do that," they said. But when 3 battle groups failed to report back, fear began to grow like a virus. In deep space, far from any star, the Eden reappeared. Its hull now shimmered with strange light, no longer steel but something fluid and alien. The crew stared at the transformed ship in silence. They didn't understand how, but Lazarus had merged with something beyond human science, a living technology born from the void itself. Captain Arlen spoke quietly. "It's not just a weapon anymore. It's aware." The ship's systems pulsed as if answering him. The Lazarus core now connected directly to the neural implants of the crew, sharing thoughts, memories, and emotions. The humans could feel the galaxy's fear echoing through the stars. Meanwhile, alien governments panicked. The Vorthans declared a state of war. The Kair Dominion began evacuating their outer colonies. Even the neutral Teloan priests burned their archives. Terrified by the name Eden, crossed the stars. A single truth spread. The weakest ship ever built by humanity had returned, and it was rewriting the laws of power. In a universe ruled by strength, something new had emerged, quiet, human, and unstoppable. For days, the galaxy searched for the Eden. Fleets scanned empty systems. Probes disappeared without signals, and every empire waited in silence. Then suddenly, without warning, it came back. The Eden emerged above the Vorthan capital world, floating quietly between the planet and its twin suns. No weapons were visible, no shields, just that same weak ship they once mocked. But now it radiated a light so bright that their entire defense grid overloaded on sight. Panic spread across command centers. Generals shouted orders, cities went into lockdown, and planetary cannons turned skyward. The order was simple: destroy it before it acts. Thousands of plasma rounds launched into space, yet none reached the target. Every shot curved, bending away like water flowing around an unseen wall. The Eden didn't move, didn't fire, didn't even respond. Inside, Captain Arlen stood with his crew. Their faces were calm, connected by the mind link Lazarus had formed. Through the bond, they could feel the fear of billions below. "Sir," the helmsman whispered, "they think we're here to destroy them." Arlen shook his head slowly. "No, we're here to remind them." The Eden's core began to hum again, a deep resonant sound that echoed across the stars. The air inside the ship shimmered as the Lazarus energy expanded outward, covering the entire planet in a soft blue glow. Then every machine, weapon, and engine across the surface stopped working, completely silent. The Vorthan homeworld went dark. From orbit, the Eden's voice broadcast one single message in every language. "You laughed at our weakness. Now learn what it means to fear peace." And as the message ended, the Eden vanished again, leaving behind a trembling world. Weeks passed after the Eden vanished again. The galaxy stood silent. Trade routes were empty. Fleets stayed hidden, and empires that once roared with pride now whispered in fear. The Vorthan capital remained dark, its mighty war factories frozen, its skies quiet for the first time in centuries. Rumors spread faster than light. Some said the Eden had become a ghost ship, drifting between dimensions. Others believed it was still out there, watching every move, waiting to strike again if anyone dared to start another war. But among humans, it became a legend. On Earth, no one celebrated. No parades, no victory speeches. Captain Arlen Voss and his crew never returned. Their families received only one final message, a simple transmission recorded in the captain's calm voice. "Strength isn't in metal or fire. It's in what survives when fear is gone. The Galactic Council held a secret meeting soon after. They erased all records of the Eden-class frigate. They banned the use of the name Lazarus Protocol. They believed if the truth ever spread, entire civilizations would collapse from panic. But it was too late. Across space, children told stories of the ship that no one feared, the ship that changed the balance of power without firing a single shot. Artists painted its blue glow across star maps, and soldiers whispered its name before battles. Generations later, whenever a new empire rose, they remembered that old human phrase, "Do not underestimate the quiet ones." And somewhere, beyond the edge of known space, a faint blue light still pulsed, steady, calm, and eternal.